Hey everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and today I'm playing and reviewing Tranquility, the Ascent. This is a 1 to 5 player limited communication cooperative game based on the original Tranquility, and disclaimer that I was sent a review copy of this one. And if you like the content on the One Stop Co-op Shop, consider supporting us through Patreon. You get early access to our videos and exclusive videos every month you can't see anywhere else. You can also listen to our podcast for reviews and design discussions, or join the conversation and say hi on our Discord. So the basic idea of Tranquility the Ascent is you've got this set of little starting mountain tiles. There are 10 of them, so they actually stretch quite widely. And you'll be putting out cards in the slots in between the mountains. And then also, once you get at least 2, you'll be building up, and you're basically just building and building out and up until you get to a final mountain that looks something like that, with this special mountaintop card at the very top. Each player has their own part of the deck to draw from. I'm playing solo, so I have the entire deck, minus the 1 card. You take these out in solo to make it a little bit tougher. But in 2-player, 3-player, 4-player, 5-player, we each have an equal portion of the deck. And you have a 5-card hand, and each of the Ascent cards in your hand has a value from 1 to 12, has a color, red, blue, or green, and then some will also have little goat symbols on there. You can also get mountaintop cards like I showed earlier. You can get bridges, and you can get fires. But most of the cards are these basic ones. And the rule is you have to place on the leftmost space that's available in a given row. So like here, I can put this 4 down. And then you cannot place a card adjacent to another card that is of the same color. So I couldn't put a green here. Although that doesn't apply at all to the next row up, so I could have a green here, but within the same row going side to side, they have to be different colors each time. And then also when I place a new card down, I look at the card to its left and its value, and I see the difference between the new card's value and the old card's value, and I have to discard that many cards from my hand, which is getting me closer to the deck running out, which means you lose the game. If you can't play cards on your turn or discard 2 cards, which is another option, you can discard 2 cards you don't want and redraw. Usually a terrible option, but there it is. Then you lose. So yeah, like here, 5 to 4, I'd have to discard a single other card of my choice from my hand to pay for that. Then you can keep continuing the rows. Like here, I have to discard 1 card to play that because 6 to 5. You can also start new rows. If cards have the same value, then it's free. So that's kind of like the basic idea. And you always draw back up to 5 cards after you take your action for the turn. And then some special cards. Bridges cannot be on the extreme end of either side of a row. But they kind of become sort of a wild. You don't have to pay anything to place them next to a card. And then you don't have to pay anything to place another card next to them. But importantly, you cannot win the game while there are bridges out, so you have to cover them up with another card. And when you do, it still needs to follow all the rules. So here I have green, red, blue, that's fine. And you pay in discards the higher value of the difference between the 2 things next to it. So here, if I put this red 6 down, it's 1 away from the 5, but 2 away from the 4. So I'd have to discard 2 cards from my hand. The other type of special card is a campfire. You put this in the place of an existing card. So like here, this red 6, it has to match the color of the campfire. And then you get to move this card, use it again basically, but it must go into a higher row than its original row. So like here, it couldn't stay in the first row and go over here, but I could go up to the second row. Oh, another very important rule. Sorry, I didn't say this. You cannot play a card into a row if its value is lower than the number of the row. So this row, you can play any card 1 through 12. This row, you can't play 1s. You can play 2 through 12s. The third row, you can play 3 through 12s. Now, again, in solo, the 1s are taken out, but the 2s will very quickly become discard fodder because they might not fit in anywhere else. Now, in solo, another important thing, because sometimes you'll just have really bad luck of the draw, and I should say in solo you have a 6-card hand instead of 5, but you can use one of these climbing ropes, turn it over, and that lets you take your entire 6-card hand, shuffle it back into the remaining deck, and redraw. So if you just have really bad number luck, you can try to do that. And that's basically it for the core game, but you do have some modules you can play with to make the game tougher. One that I'm not going to use is the panoramas. You can flip over some of these mountains. They recommend 3 or 4 or 5, depending on how hard you want it to be. And you would then have to have this exact sequence of numbers somewhere in your mountain. And once you achieve it, so if I had like a 6 and then a 7 and then a 6 here, you can flip them down, and you have to flip all of them before you win the game. The other module, and this one I am using, is called the green path. And what that means is I must be able to track from the bottommost row of the mountain to the top a contiguous connected set of green cards going all the way up. So that one I will be using. And the last one, the most complicated, is the goat one. Whenever I play one of the 12 cards in the deck with a goat icon on the right there, I place the little goat on the card. And here's another one. Again, there's 12 of these cards in the deck. And then you get an alternate action on your turn. You can discard any one card to move all goats on a given card up one card. So like here I would go there. But now if I discarded another card, I would move every goat on this one card up one. And what you have to do is get at least 8 out of the 12 possible goats on the 8th level, the level right below the mountaintop, before you can place the mountaintop and win the game. So again, I'm going to do the green path, try to get a contiguous green path up the mountain, and the goats. We'll see how it goes. I won this once out of 3 attempts last time. So yeah, should be fun. But let's get into Tranquility the Ascent and actually play, then I'll have a review at the end. All right, so to start out, I've got a 6 blue, a 10 blue with a goat, a 9 green. Looking for a lower number, 3. That's nice. An 11 and a 10. Now, this is a little iffy. I could play the 3 first because it's the lowest value, and you want to generally play lower on the bottom and higher at the top. But I don't have anything it connects to. I just have a ton of blue cards as well. So, like, if I play the 3 and don't get anything else to play, then the next nearest number would be the 9 green, which is terrible. But I could use one of my climbing ropes. This is definitely kind of a dumb move. Let's take a chance. I'll play the 3 blue there and draw. It's a 2 blue. The number's good. The color ain't. Yeah, so like the best I could play here would be a 6 green, which is 6 apart. I don't even have 6 cards to discard from my hand. So this is a terrible start. Let's go and use our first climbing rope. And now, yes, that was bad luck, but also I do want to emphasize that I chose to to play a card that I knew I did not have a good connecting number to. Oh, but this is much better. Ooh, wow, this is a lot better. A lot better. Okay, so let's do the 4 first, then we can do like 5, 4, 5, 4. Okay, so I'll do the 4 green, and I just want to check this isn't a goat card. I don't want to discard goat cards very often. Yeah, let's keep all these lower values to get the first row going and discard the 9 blue. And I draw 12 red and a 9 red. I'm glad I'm not seeing any goats yet. I like to play the goats as late as possible. By the way, just a note, I have a green there because I have to do that green path thing. And let's zoom out a bit to show you more of the mountain. I'm going to keep on doing that. So let's do a 4 red because that's free. You always want to go for those free plays when you can. Oh, and I got a 5, another 5. This is great. Okay, let's do maybe the 5 red before the 5 green, because I want to have like multiple options for my green path to take. So having a few different greens on the bottom is nice. Okay, so that's one separate. I want to get rid of the 5s or the 6s. 9 or 12, neither one has a goat. I already got rid of like a 9, didn't I? So let's get rid of the 12 this time. Okay, I got a 7, ooh, and a 3 red. Would like to get back down to that at some point. Let's do the 5 blue before the green. Spread out my blue cards as much as possible. And I got a mountaintop. You need these to win, and there are 5 of them in the deck. So generally, they're very safe to discard. You just don't want to lose track of how many you've discarded. In the multiplayer game, you never get to see each other's discards, so you don't know exactly how many mountaintops are left. So often, like, we'll all be keeping one to be safe. And there we go. Max zoom out that we should need. I think this is going to cover us for the rest of the video. So we got a 5 green there, and I'll redraw. Ooh, a 3 green. Okay, so I definitely want to get the 3s going. So let's do the 3 red. I'll discard the mountaintop. I don't want to have too many of the same color. Let's get rid of the 6 blue. Oh, now we got some goats, a 10 and 8 red that both have goats on them. You don't want to discard too many of those because there are only 12 goat cards in the entire deck. And if you discard more than 4 of them, then you can never finish the goat quest off because you need to get 8 to the top. Okay, there's a 3. I'll do the 4 if nothing better comes out. 12 with a goat. That's definitely not better. Okay, so let's put the 4 right there, and I got to discard 1. Where are my goat cards? Okay, so let's do, I got a lot of reds. Let's get rid of the 9 red. Now, to be clear, I could have started a new row at any time. The fact that I did that entire bottom row is not like at all a requirement. Okay, 2 green. Would continue the green path, but I have nothing else in my hand that like is going to easily go with a 2. This is the last row I can play a 2, which is the lowest card in my deck. See, I don't really want to play the goat cards yet. I want them to be higher up the mountain. But the 7 blue seems okay, I think. I'm starting a new row, which you can do any time that they have at least 2 mountains to support it. There's a 3 and a 2. Yeah, but now I'm really far. God, should I play the 8 with a goat already? I guess so. All right, so the 8 goes there, and there's a goat. I'll discard second mountaintop. Let's try to remember that I've discarded 2. Help me out with that. Okay, I got a bridge and another mountaintop. This is not great. I only have 2 more mountaintops in the deck. Yeesh. Yeah, I'm almost thinking I should use another climbing rope because I want to have all these goats and I want to save this mountaintop and hopefully like put it deeper into the deck. Oh, God, I forgot about the green path too. Well, that green's already locked off, so I need to raise up one of these greens. If I forget, that'll be the end of the game. Should I put the bridge out and see how things go first? Yeah, okay, let's try that. So we'll put the bridge. Remember, we do have to cover that up at some point, but we pay nothing now. Got our first campfire, which can reuse a green card. That's actually going to be great for the path. Let's see, I could go to like the 10 red, and then that nicely sets up a 9 in the middle, blue or green, which would only make me pay 1 card because it would be exactly between the two. That's another goat, though, but then with a few cards, I can get them toward each other. Or, I can just let those goats die there and get 8 other goats elsewhere. Oh, I got a 9 green, and it's above the 5 green. Yes, that's perfect. Okay, so let's get that 9 green going. Oh, here they do. Let's use this little guy to remind you how high up you've got a combo. And I'll discard my 3rd mountaintop. 2 left in the entire deck. I mean, if I'm keeping track of the numbers right. 11, a 5. I should probably start another row. But what do I start it with? I can't use the 2 up there. The 3 is fine. So sure. Should I do as low number as a 3? Might be a death sentence. I have nothing else. Well, I still have some high value to go over here. And I don't want to go too high too quickly, or I won't have high values to build into later. All right. So I could do the 5. Oh, no, that's a red next to red. So they got to go next to the green there. Or no, I don't. I could use my campfire. Might be a little wasteful, but I could get that right there. Sure, why not? Okay, so I'm playing the green campfire to grab the 3 green and place it out again. Probably should have used it to continue my green path, but it's okay. Okay, I got a 10 green. This is great. Maybe I should start another row? Or I could just move some goats. That's a nice little kind of biding your time action. Or what about, the 5 red is fine here, right? So I got to discard 2. Let's get rid of the 2, because that's almost certainly going to be useless. And then, these are high numbers. I'm wary to get rid of greens that are high, because I need them eventually. So maybe 12 blue. Okay, and I got, an 8. That'll go next to the 9, well. Or I could go ahead and get that going with this green 6. Yeah, maybe I'll do that first, okay, because that'll get my green path going up even higher. It can, by the way, crisscross back and forth. The fact that it's going in one direction is not a requirement. 7-8's really good there. The 10 might be useful later. Well, it's a green, but okay, I'll get rid of the green 10. Ooh, nice. A blue 9. Always love when I pay nothing, so that'll slot in perfectly there. Sorry, got to make sure I have my cards where y'all can see them. I could do the red 8. I could do a 7 over here. I could even start a new row. I've got these 8s. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. Let's do a blue 8, planning to do the red 8 in a second. Okay, red 9. Oh, do I have 9s? Yeah, I do have 9s. So there we go. Although I'm using a lot of higher values, so I'll know what I'm going to do with like 4s and 3s and such later. Another 6, but it's a 6 green, and it's got a goat on it. That'd be another really low goat. Not too wise. Let's go for the red 8 that we were planning and see what happens after that. An 11 green. Okay. Well, the 7 green would continue here, and then I have another 7 to go to. Although I'm using up like middle values that would continue that row of 6. But, sure. We'll keep this green going. What do I do for the 7? I want the 7. I want the 6. The 11s and 12s. Maybe the 11 green can go. Got a 2 that's worthless, right? Yeah, unless I put it over there. It can't fit in anywhere. A 10 red is the wrong color. Yeah, this is not ideal. This, by the way, is the 4th row out of 8. So I'm going to do 4 more rows above and then the final mountaintop, which probably won't even fit on camera. What do I want to do? I think I got 2 more climbing ropes left. Let's use another one. I don't really love these cards. I want to give myself some other chances here. All right, I got some sort of medium-ish values, but they're like all green. Got a blue fire. What could I grab? This 9, no. This 7 next to the 6 wouldn't be too bad, although it'd be better over there. Anything else to go next to the 6 first? I got so many greens, man. I could do the 8 green next to the 9. But it's a goat. I can't do the 10 next to the 9. Well, I do have a 5. Okay, let's do the campfire on the 5 to move it up there, and then I got to pay 1. I don't need all these greens. I don't need the 4. Let's get rid of the 4. More greens. Okay, I can safely play the green 5, so I'm almost done the 3rd row. I just need 1 more card in the 2nd row, 1 more in the 3rd. 12. I just have 1 12. I got a lot of 8s. I got way too many greens. Crud. The only good, I guess I can do an 8 green. Yeah, there's one. There we go. Okay, I was going to say, I have the 8 green with the goat, but I have this 8 green without the goat. So, boop. And let's discard the 2 red, right? That's a dead card. Yeah, there is no second row left. All right, so I finish off the biggest rows. 10 and 11. Might be a decent, and I got a 12 here too. Maybe I start like the 11 here and then put the 12 there and continue my green path. That seems reasonable. Oh, God. 2 of those left? I think it's 1 of 2, if I'm remembering correctly. Okay, let's put my 12 here. Green path continued. That part's going great. We'll discard... We'll discard the 3, not the mountaintop. Yep, I'm a little worried to get rid of that permanently. Ooh, and I got a blue 5. So nice. I've finished the 3 biggest rows. That part's going well. And I don't think I've discarded any goats to pay for anything. And I only have 1 in my hand. So there should be 9 more goats coming in the deck if I'm keeping track right. Okay, what'd I get? A 3. That's dead. So I guess the 6 red would be my best bet here. Let's trash the 3 for it. What'd I get? 11 blue. Not bad. 11 red. So I could build out those. I got a lot of 10s and 11s. Jeez. And none of them have goats on them, interestingly. All right, so sure. Let's do the 11 blue. And throw away. I don't want to throw away the 8 with the goat. I guess the 10 blue, maybe? I could just throw away this other mountain because I'm pretty sure there's 1 left. 6 red. Can't go to the next to another 6 red. Ooh, a bridge, though. Oh, God, I forgot about this. Crud. What was I looking for? A 9 green or blue is my ideal. An 8 green or a 10 would also fit the bill. But for now, I think I'm actually going to bridge here. And then I can put my other 6. Oh, that has a goat on it. I can put my other 6 next to it. And then I'll fill that in later. I gotta not forget the bridges. Ooh, and I got 11s. Let's do an 11 there now that I can place it. 2 blue. Wonderful. Okay. So my 6 red would be perfect here. It's just that it has a goat, which will maybe be wasted, but that's okay. So that's my 3rd goat. We can have, if we haven't discarded any, if I'm right about that, then we can have 4 goats wasted and then like play out the last 8. Another bridge. I don't really need bridges that much. All right. I can do an 11 there. Let's go ahead and do that. So I've finished rows 1 through 5. But my goats are like doing nothing yet. So I need to like start getting these things out. And I still have 2 bridges to fill in. Oh gosh, 2s. Those would be good to move goats with. Let's start this row with the 8, because now we're pretty close to the top, and that continues our path, so he can hang out with that goat there. There's a 7 green. That doesn't help me at all. Actually, I could put this, yeah, you know what, there's a decent place for the 7 green. I'll fill in that bridge, and I'll discard the other bridge, because I actually don't like using bridges a lot of the time. They are kind of, I find, card wasters, unless they work out just right. Oh my god, those are the last 2 mountains. I might just, yeah, you know what? Let's use my last hook and rope, because I don't want my hand to be filled with mountains, y'all, and I can't really play any cards here anyway. Of course, the deck is getting quite low, so I might just get him right back. Okay, no, I didn't. I got a 6 goat? 7s. Okay, so I can walk down to the 6 with one of the 7s. Let's do... oh, that's right. What do I need here? A 9 blue or green is ideal. I got to keep an eye out for that. Okay, let's do the 7 blue, which does cost me 1. I'll pay this dead too. Okay, and I got some 12... Ooh, I got a red fire. Let's do the 7 red and then the 6 green, because I could then move that goat up in a pinch if things are really looking bad. Yeah, okay, and then I'll do the 6 green. I'll pay the blue, and I got you. Oh gosh, and that's a 6 crud. Yeah, I just finished the 6th row. I wish I'd drawn you a second earlier. So that's a gone goat. I might just have to move a lot of goats up. So I cannot play anything lower than a 7 in here. Oh, I do have 2 12 goats. That's pretty fabulous. You know, let's open up. Crud! If I start that without a green... I don't have another green path, right? This was almost an extra green path, but I wasn't tending to it. No. This is bad. Yeah, and I don't have any more of my ropes. Let me spend some cards to move goats. So let's discard this 4. You move all goats on a space. I'm gonna get this one to join him, and then they can move as a group. Come on, give me something better. A bridge. Great. That doesn't help because you can't play a bridge on the outside row. Otherwise, I can play the bridge there and then just replace it with a green later, but no such luck. All right, I don't know. Let's discard the bridge to move that goat up too. I got 8 blue with a goat. Fridge. I need a green. Can I afford to lose another goat? Okay, whatever. At least I'll get a lot of cards out of my hand. I'm going to go here to cover my other bridge. That's going to cost me 2, because it's 2 away from there. And yeah, there's just like a billion goats that I left behind. So 2 cards. The 6 goat is dead, right? I can't play that, so that's 1. And then these 2 12 goats, and I think the fireplace is better than a 10, so I'll discard those 2. All right, so I don't have any bridges left that I have to do. And I still have 0 green cards in my hand. This is a nightmare, y'all. All right, I'm going to discard 2 cards, which is your other option. I'll discard... Wait, can I move goats? Yeah, I might as well move goats, right? There's no reason to ever do the regular discard 2 cards thing. So I'll move that goat and draw. Is that the last mountaintop, or were there 2? And I'll discard this 4 and move this goat to join them and draw. Thank you, God. Okay, so green, 12 with a goat. That's good, and my green path is continued. Although that whole rigmarole took a lot of energy. Okay, let's get another 12 here, because I still need a high green again to continue the path. 2 green ain't going to cut it. Okay, let's do another. Okay, we got the goats going. That's a lot. How many is that? That's 6 near the top. But if I get like that group up, that would be enough. Oh, yes. Gosh, that was a clinch card. So that's a 10 with a goat. Okay. I have an 11. Okay, this is actually, I think this is going to be pretty smooth to finish up, because that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, maybe not as smooth. So if I have enough cards to move all the goats. Okay, so doing the 11 and discarding something, it doesn't really matter, because that is the top. But I cannot go to the top until I have 8 goats on this row. And that's it. I've got the green path done. And how many cards do I have left to discard for this? Oh, there's a 10 goat. Oh, man. I wasn't counting. I know there was one more goat card. That would have been way better to like move some goats. Crud. Okay. Oh, and I didn't use my like red fire. That would have probably been better too. Okay. Anyway, let's discard that to move these guys. Because I'm going to like, if I can get them to here, it'll be the same number of moves anyway. And oh gosh, that's my last card. I don't think I'm going to have enough actions, y'all. We'll discard that. There, and we'll discard that to go there. I got 3 more moves. Is not enough. So 1 move, boop, and 2 moves. That's 5, and 3 moves. Gosh, are you serious? I needed 1 more card. And then I could have done the top. Yeah, if I had moved some of these goats and bided my time, I could have put the 10 here, which would have only cost 1 more discard. Then I would have not needed to waste so many moves to move like the 2 goats from down here. I think I would have won. Should have been more patient and realized that there was still a goat card left. Okay, but yeah, that was Tranquility, the Ascent, with 2 of the more difficult modules added in. Again, I could have also had some panoramas that I would have had to achieve at the same time. And there's technically no like easy mode for the game, but I figured out one right away that I've been playing with my 8-year-old, which is just take away some of the mountain cards. And suddenly you have way more cards and it's way easier to finish the mountain up. So yeah, with my 8-year-old, I've been playing with like 8 mountains or 9 mountains instead of all 10. Definitely a simple way that's not officially in the rules, but you can make the game a lot easier for family weight. But yeah, what do I think of Tranquility the Ascent? Holy crud, y'all. This is such a fun, quick filler. I played this, I think, 20 times since like the week ago that I opened it. A lot of those have been solo. I had played some on Board Game Arena. There's an implementation of the game there, so you can go try it out there. I've played it 3-player. I've played it 2-player. I haven't played 4 or 5 yet. I can imagine like the chaos might be a little bit larger there. And yes, this one is just so quick to play, consistently tense and fun. There is some thought in like how you lay out the cards, but there's enough randomization each time you play that you're never going to be able to like perfectly be able to build the mountain the same way each time. And just, yeah, that core choice of like, when do you start a row and when do you continue a row? Because you often have that option to build up. But which number do you start with? How much do you pay attention to your hand? If you're playing in multiplayer, how much do you hope that like your partner has it? You often want to get like multiple number lines going. So like this one's building off 6s, this one's building off 2s, this one's building off 4s, so that when you get the exact number, you can save as many cards as possible. The whole resource management of your cards, the tension of letting go of the tops, but especially in multiplayer, not knowing, did we throw away 1 too many? Maybe. It's just a lot of fun for such a quick, simple game. I also think the modules work great. We love the green path. My son and I have really enjoyed that. The goats are now his favorite because they do just add, first of all, kind of a fun theme, but also, the green path kind of pushes you in certain directions. The panoramas push you in certain directions. And then the goats kind of want you to hold on to cards. But of course, if it's like the perfect card for the number you need to play, so you discard fewer things, I don't know, just makes the choices very, very yummy. I have not played with all three modules together yet, and you can also, in solo, you can take away some of these so you don't get that mitigation of the redraw. So you can make the game as hard as you want, which I appreciate, or, again, you can take away some mountains and make it pretty easy. So it has a very good range of like teaching and simplicity and complexity, depending on what you're looking for. So yeah, I've just been thoroughly charmed by this one. I think it's going to stay in my collection forever, at least based on how much we've been liking it so far, how much my family's asking to play it. Now, what are the caveats? What are the potential concerns? Big one is, there's a lot of randomness. Like sometimes you just don't draw anything that goes with what you've already played. Now, you saw like in the very first turn, usually you have choices to make. And like while you want to have lower values on the bottom and higher values on top, it's not really like the end of the game if you start with a 9 and a 10 on your first row. And often that's the better play when you have surety of your cards linking together. But yeah, we've had wins where we probably shouldn't have won, but the cards came out in just the right way at the end. We've had losses where we maybe should have won, but things just like kind of got all muddled up at the end. So there is a random draw element, but the entire game takes like 10 minutes, so we don't care. You might, but it hasn't bothered us in our plays at all. Another minor annoyance is that the game does stretch very wide. If you saw the original Tranquility, that's like a 6x6 grid, which was a bit more contained. But the fact that here the mountains go so wide, I had to zoom out the camera here, means that for a filler, you're not going to have an easy time playing this in like a regular bar table or that kind of thing. We did manage to play it in bed one day and on the living room floor, so it's still like small enough to be in some flexible spaces. But yeah, it does kind of stretch in sort of an odd direction, as you can see. Other things people might not like, this is a full no communication game. You're just playing cards. You're not supposed to talk to each other at all, or, you can talk about other things that's not talk about the game. That's going to float some people's boat and other people not. If you want to like strategize together and puzzle out things together, this game does not allow it, so you might not enjoy that. And I don't know what else. I mean, I really love this game, but here's a little complaint. I like to display the cards left in my hand so I can see the numbers, but then I can't see the goats. I wish that they had not had the goats, because like, how do you hold your hand, I guess like that? So you can see the goats and the numbers at the same time. It's a super minor complaint because you're often not even going to be playing with the goat module, and I still managed to figure it out and see what's in my hand pretty well. But it's just a slightly annoying like UI choice that the goats are on the opposite side and you can't display your cards the normal way. But besides that, heck yeah, Tranquility the Ascent is awesome. And I will say I've played the original Tranquility. Didn't really like that one that much because in that you're building numbers 1 through 80, and again a 6x6 grid. And I found that very like sort of mathy, trying to figure out like where would be a good proper place to put out the numbers, because you can kind of place them wherever you want. Here, I much prefer the 1 to 12 values, that choice of how high or low you start each row and kind of modify the values as you go. I just personally find this more fun, and also thematically, like building up a mountain feels a bit more thematic. I mean, it's still an abstract card game, but yeah, I do like the theme here better than the original Tranquility. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the play and review. And let me end the video by thanking our biggest Patreon supporters, J. Willie MF, Steve Wren, Pedro Lucas, Nick Skeen, Miles, and Wayne Scott. Thank you all, and thanks to all our supporters and subscribers. We'll see you at the next stop.